Okay. So,
Right today.
I know, right? What's going on with that?
I just turned it up.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you heard that we like grabbed a tree that was maybe a little bit too large.
Too large.
And maybe, or that the house was too small.
Just
And
heard it was a pricey girl.
it was a pricey girl. Luckily we had a couple guys deliver it, and they were like
awesome.
rough and tough mountain men, and they came in and they. Luckily, you know, we had like our double doors, so it was easy for them to get in. But when we got it in, it didn't make it. It didn't fit. So they tried to stack it up, and they're like, "We're gonna break your tree," and da 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 da. And so, what do I get in the comments of Facebook everywhere? A bunch of like, sorry guys, yeah, a bunch of tree people know-it-alls that are like, by the way, you just need to trim it from the bottom and not the top, because they saw me with like,
Oh my gosh.
I got ghetto because
You don't want to trim it on the top.
all I had was a et tu, Brute? We went with the Goliath tree, and we just, like, it's the first time we've ever had ceilings that are like, you know, high enough that you don't have to duck your head.
Yeah.
And what I also found out from the Christmas tree people, they're like, by the way, Christmas trees outside look a lot smaller than they do inside. I was like, oh, I didn't know.
Good point.
Because I literally, like, we got really technical. Everybody's like, you should have brought a measuring tape. You should have measured your ceilings and da-da-da. What did we do? I had Henri stand up next to it, and then I had her jump really high. And I was like gauging, like, okay, Henri's 5 foot, and if she can get this high.
Right.
And then we also did like the laundry. We're like, okay, so if Henri was on Laura's shoulders, what would that, you know? We did a bunch of very unscientific kind of ways of trying to see if the tree would fit, and all of those methods failed.
Wow.
So I bolt cutted it, right? I got freaking rusty bolt cutters, and I cut that damn tree, and I didn't cut the bottom. For any of you who are like, you should have cut the bottom. I didn't cut the bottom, I cut the top, and does it look good?
It looks awesome. Yeah.
It's a pretty
It's really nice.
special tree.
Yeah,
So I'm excited, and I just wanted to share that little Christmas tree adventure with everybody.
Crazy fun adventures.
Yeah, I'm sad you went there.
Super bitter that you guys went without me.
I know, but it's just because you're busy, like, trying to like get a bunch of stuff done.
Let's do it during the week, and you were like, deal. And then they sent me a picture on Sunday night with a big tree with Manny sitting in front of it. And you said, sorry, I can't.
I'm sorry.
It's been literally like
I know.
5 years.
Have
we ever not gotten our Christmas trees together?
As we pulled up to the place, I said, I'm going to catch a lot of hell for this. But it was the only opportunity I thought I might have free to go do it. And so I made an executive decision knowing the fallout could be dire.
I was at Whole Foods today, and I was like, I'm just going to get my tree here.
Did you get it?
No.
But it's right down the street. We will go with you, and we will get you a nice tree.
To cut and a book to write now.
We can pick you up a tree in 3 seconds and toss it in the back of your thing, and off you go. We can get you one of those little Charlie Brown trees.
That's what I want.
The little sad tree. You always like the sad trees. You like the underdog tree, right? Anyways.
Someone else is going to pick it, and it's going to go to the wood chopper.
That's not true. I think a lot of people gravitate towards this. Like, the sad tree. A lot of people said that.
They have style, or they have personality.
Yeah. They definitely, like, that guy's like an obvious guy.
Yeah.
The real thing is that they had 15 footers, and I was could we find a way? I mean, they're massive and glorious and beautiful. You need like a mall.
Yeah.
You have to be in like a mall or something like that. I was just.
How tall is that one? 10?
Well, apparently I lied. Henri and Shelby corrected me on Facebook. I was like 13-foot tree, 12-foot ceiling, and they said that our ceiling is 10 foot. No, they said it's 8 foot, and we got a 9-foot tree. But that's all monkey business. Does that look like a 9-foot tree?
I mean, it's 1.5 of me, basically. Yeah.
right, so I lied. All right, we'll call it Christmas tree gate. Christmas tree gate.
I think we used to get like 6.5, 7 feet.
Yeah.
And we had a high ceiling.
I thought 13 sounded really grand.
13 is grand.
So
That's like
I think,
hotel stuff.
I think it's bigger than 9 feet, but anyways, okay. So we got to jump into the show.
Yes.
Guys, she's still here. It's amazing. It's amazing. We're fingers crossed that Forrest maintains his patience.
Maintains his, yeah. You keep spelling it wrong. Maybe that's why he doesn't want to come out.
Is there only one R?
One R, one S. It's like the noun.
I didn't put 2 S's.
No, I know, but that's just the line. One R, one S.
Okay. And why is that distinction?
I don't know. I just like the fact that
how's
it's like
Forrest Gump spelled?
2 R's.
2 R's?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's definitely not like
a little different.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not connected to that.
Well, it's slightly connected to that.
Because it's one of your favorite movies.
Yeah, but it's also that the forest. I like the actual the idea of the forest.
Okay.
And that it's spelled just like that.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I'm sorry for the insult.
I'm just saying he might be insulted. Maybe he's like,
when he comes out, I'll buy him a lifetime supply of Air Force Ones, right? So
get him baby.
I'll get him baby ones. Dude,
Awesome.
You just tell me what color. They have some gold ones out. If you want
Baby
to
ones?
pimpin'. Yeah, Jay-Z would approve of those.
You have to.
You'd have to approve. Speaking of which,
check these babies out.
Maiden Voyage.
And they've got this plaid
I don't think they can see it. They can see it over there.
Yeah, they can. It's awesome.
I
Awesome.
never worn them until today.
You came out like swag. You were you walked out of your bedroom and you were leather jacket. You had that. You had your hat on. You had the yellow shoes. I was like, what
It's
are we doing
beginning
today?
to look a lot like Pimp Miss. Everywhere you go. Sorry. I figured I'd shake it up and get a little snazzy for you guys.
You just say that.
Yeah. You can just edit that out.
Oh, no, I won't. Oh, no. That's there to stay.
It just came. Nails, same?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Well, I got
no.
reds.
You got
I got
reds. They look shorter even.
They're even shorter, yeah.
Yeah, the baby, baby
yeah.
safety.
I did the red and I just asked for short because they grow so
you
fast.
never do red. You do
I know.
cranberry and stuff like that, but you don't do red.
But it's holidays.
Do you know somebody compared us the other day to
Mr. or Mrs. Claus? That was such a weird reaction.
That's
Why was I so excited?
that's absolutely not what anybody compared us to. Was Mr. and Mrs. Claus.
I was so excited.
I mean, if I had a beard and a hat and a
really
bowl full of jelly here, we might get somewhere.
I have the bowl full of jelly.
Right? So maybe we can do a gender switch. No, somebody was saying that our intros remind her of Kathy
Regis
Lee.
and Kathy Lee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but she says I guess Regis is gone. I think
Yeah.
it's just Kathy Lee, so that means you're Kathy Lee.
She's real. She's not.
Kathy's got her own thing.
What they were saying in that comment
Is the fun, witty repartee.
The beginning reminds me of that, yeah.
Right. It's just the best comparison
And
you had.
Regis is so funny, oh my gosh. He's like everyone's inappropriate uncle.
Who is?
Regis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But is he still around?
That's what I was going to wonder.
Sorry,
Let us
guys.
know.
Regis, if you passed, our condolences. And if you're still kicking ass, go for it, buddy. Anyways, okay. So we've seen the nails, we've seen the shoes.
Yep.
We got to talk about a couple things real quick. Forrest spelled correctly. I know. Trust me. I feel the pressure.
Yeah.
Forrest spelled correctly is still
Yeah.
safely
We
tucked
did a
away.
scan today, big scan.
Yeah. What do you have to say?
Looks like he's comfortable.
Oh, good.
And he's weighing in at around 8.5 pounds.
That's still small.
I mean,
For you guys, for you.
no, I mean for a man who's not thinking about.
Oh, I'm thinking about it. We've had plenty of talks. You know that we've had plenty of talks. I'm like, ooh,
I think the
man.
problem is 8.5 pounds. Give him a few more days. Especially because I've been starving lately. It's the first time in my pregnancy that I've actually been
I think he's waiting on 10. He's like, when I get to 10,
No.
then we'll talk.
No.
Then we'll talk.
No. I was 9 pounds. My little brother's almost 11.
You were 9? Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, there's no way he's coming out at 8.5. Sorry.
I think Simon was like 7, so.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter, like you.
It doesn't seem to make any sense to me.
I have a friend who's like 6'5", and he was like 6 pounds.
Was he premature? Mm-mm. This life thing is just a mystery. It's just a mystery. Okay, so that's an incredibly important topic, obviously. But so we're still navigating and we're still hanging in there.
Still kicking.
Still kicking.
Tonight I will be editing this show, barring any hospital.
Yeah, you're not allowed to go to the hospital tonight. I'm locking your doors and taking your keys. So you're just gonna have to do a lot as you try and like edit and go through all this stuff, right? Okay, so let's talk about something else really big.
Big thing.
Another birth of sorts, right?
If you will.
Guys, the TGD book. We've been talking about it, like how I throw the pen down, like I'm getting dramatic. The TGD book has been on our minds and it's been coming out of our mouths, and we've been talking to you guys about it for a really long time, and it's really, really starting to coalesce and come together. We had a really great meeting yesterday, excuse me, and I think we're really in a great space to like move it forward and get things to actually like boom, take off. So that said, we got a special little offer for everybody. Do you want to talk to them about it?
Well, here's the big picture thing is that the book's not completed. Like it's completed, but it's not like at the publisher, at the printer.
Right, but all the content pretty much is all done.
Everything's all done. So we don't have like a set date, but what we do have is that we know it's going to be out within the first few months of 2017.
Yeah, January, February.
No doubt. Yeah. Maybe more like we could say February, March, just to keep the people.
She's always scared, but don't scare the people. January, February.
Scare the people. I just like to under promise, over deliver. Okay, baby's coming. January is maybe not happening. So
anyway, may not be there yet. It might be 12 pounds.
No. So within the first few months of 2017, the book is definitely going to be here.
Yeah.
We don't have a date, so no one can hold us to any date. But what we want to do is a promotion,
or a special offer, exciting celebration. We want to offer something special for all of you guys.
Yeah.
Especially like we're basically just extending it to you guys. We might do a Facebook post at some point, but like you guys are really getting like the kind of first shot at this deal.
It's kind of something that we wished we had done like with the DVD, like something a little bit more special, because we didn't really do the DVD. It just came out and we just sent out copies and stuff. But we're kind of looking to do something more special. So what we decided is that we're going to do a pre-order, and the pre-order, the book's going to be $30 plus shipping. Shipping's like $2 to $3,
which will be a steal for what's going to be in that book.
Yes,
I may say,
at least 150 pages.
Yeah.
Be a really nice, really nice look.
It'll be it's going to look great. It's going to have great. It's going to be put together really nice. It's going to stand alone as something that any dog owner could purchase and really accelerate their relationship and how they live with their dog. But it can also be a complement to any of the other stuff that we've put out, and being able to fold that into like the DVDs or free videos and stuff like that, and really get the mental relationship, emotional side of it together. Yep. Which is usually the most challenging part.
So what we're looking to do is until December 31st, if you order a copy of the book, $30 plus shipping, you get a signed copy. And not just like a signature, but a little note.
I will personalize it.
Personalized note.
With your name.
With your name.
To you.
To you.
Thanking you.
And we decided that no more signed books after December 31st, 2016.
That's it.
So this book will never be signed again. I mean,
I might send one to my mom.
maybe your
if
mom.
that's okay.
I was gonna say, like,
if you guys will allow
yeah,
that.
that's different. But anything else, like no signed copies down the road, it'll
Nope.
just be if you order it on January 1st, then you just get a copy sent to you once it's ready.
Yeah.
But if you order before December 31st, you get a signed copy, and it's going to cost the same as if you were to buy it after January 1st.
Yeah. So the motivation is really cool because the price is going to be the same. Only thing is you don't get it immediately if you're an instant gratification.
Instant gratification.
Yes,
yeah.
thank you. Instant gratification person, you might be like, that's challenging.
Yeah.
But you're going to get gratified in a different way. You're going to get something special down the line.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited. I know Laura was talking about like signing books and like it was a lot of work, but I'm really
It's fun. It's a lot of work. Like you think you're like, oh, I'll knock this out in an hour, and then 2 hours later you're like
Your
halfway
hands like-
done. Yeah, exactly.
But for me, it's the first book I've ever done.
So cool.
And I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And I'm so down to be like locked up in a room and have to like sign copies to all you guys.
Yeah,
it's
so
really
cool.
exciting for me.
Yeah.
So we want to extend that to you guys once again by December 31st. That's the cutoff. Anything after that goes to regular books.
Which is still cool. You
Still
can
cool.
obviously still purchase
Absolutely,
the book. Yeah.
absolutely. You could even sign it yourself and
Hey.
be like, hey, I love myself and my dog loves Sean O'Shea. And it's going to be $30 plus tax, not plus tax, plus shipping. And that's it. You get the signed copy, or you wait and you just get a regular copy.
Yeah.
But I think
So-
for all of you special folks, it'd be a cool thing. Like I know a lot of people wanted signed DVDs and we couldn't do it because it came from a manufacturing house. It's the first time that we'll have an opportunity, like you actually did, to have them arrive,
Us,
and
yep.
then we can actually do that
Yeah.
stuff.
So, if you want to pre-order, you can. If on this episode we have a link, there will be a link in the description
Yep.
underneath this post on the Facebook page. So go to the Facebook page or the YouTube page if you just see us on YouTube. Click the link, pre-order, and just you're going to get a signed book if you order in the next. I guess it's in the next like month. You have a month basically to order it.
Yeah.
For
Just
like
a little,
25 days.
just a little under a month.
Great Christmas present if you want to buy it for someone else.
Oh,
You
tell
can
them what they're gonna get.
You'll
The
get
awesome
an
idea.
email with like a little graphic kind of what the book cover is
The book
gonna look
cover,
like.
yeah.
So if you were to give this to someone and you buy it and you get it before December 31st, you could just print out the little email that you get and give that to them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, this is what you have coming in the next few months.
And you know what I just thought about right now? We'll have to talk about it, but we might be able to come up with something where if you buy a couple copies that you might get a deal and get an extra copy or a discounted copy.
Cool.
Seth Godin did some really great stuff with that
Cool.
in order for the book to be shared, which I thought was really great.
We might just do the sign for now because we can't do like multiple signs.
See how she reels me in? I'm like, hey, and what do you think? She's like, and that's great. And
He's like,
maybe
you know, the team of 30. I'm like, you mean me? Like, there's no team. Like, you got this grand, like, can we just get like elephants going across the screen and right into my eyes?
sorry guys, I'm a dreamer. That's just the way it works.
You just
And-
watch a lot of things. You're gonna love it when you have a show where you have like
An army.
people. Yeah,
I
that's
need
a
an
totally
army.
Different thing.
I just need an army.
Do it. Get it.
Where's my army?
You gotta pay for it.
You got to earn the army. Okay. Anyways, let's jump into this show. Believe it or not, I was at Sharky's last night. Is this on?
Practicing,
Is this on?
maybe.
Such a setup. I was at Sharky's last night and I was writing up the show. Anybody who followed me on Instagram stories got to see me like burrito in hand, like writing this up. And I was like, okay, so let's not mess up the fingers and the numbers.
No
She
way.
said, all I have to do is hold up one finger. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna hold on to that, and I know I can make it as long as you don't yell at me. Now, if you switch this up and yell at me, and you'd be
I
like,
so
I
never
held up
yell at
one, and why
you.
don't you have 13 up?
When do I yell at you?
If it's a setup, you're in big trouble.
Oh my gosh, he's still living. I'm sorry. He's 85. He's 85.
Is that why people are comparing me? I'm not that old.
Oh, Regis Philbin
He
is
looks great.
85. Well, we don't know. That was in 2009. That was 7 years ago.
okay.
When he was 78. Oh, he does look great.
Yeah, he really does.
Wow, that's awesome.
I think Regis has had a pretty fun life.
Oh yeah, he loves it. He loves his life.
Showing up every day, hassling Kathy Lee.
And now he does like the New Year's. I think he does the New Year's.
Does he do a parade or?
No, with the New York, the ball
when
drop.
the ball drop?
He'll go and just hang out. He's
Gotcha.
so cute.
Yeah, the old ball drop. Anyways,
Old ball drop.
so let's jump in to the show. Hey everybody, it's Sean from The Good Dog. And this, to my left, is the still enormously pregnant with a child that is determined to be a 12-pounder before he makes his way into this world. Sorry. And the lovely Laura Morgan. New nails.
Tired. Big.
Hanging.
Huge.
But like, major props to this girl. Like, she's been pregnant for a while. And she's still showing up here, working dogs, working client sessions, editing her butt off. No, I'm
What
just.
else am I gonna do?
Well,
Bonbons.
bonbons. That's typically what happens.
I have a very active baby. It's diagnosed.
Yeah.
That's me. There's no mistaking that this is my child.
Right.
Like I would die sitting at home.
Your baby's on the elliptical already in there.
Can you imagine me being like, I'm gonna take a week off and just not do anything?
No, but anyways, I know it's uncomfortable. I know sometimes you're not feeling so well. I know sometimes the brain is like challenged just memory-wise.
Yes.
A lot of like blood is being pulled elsewhere, things like that. So big props to this girl for being able to like keep this whole machine running, and like a lot of big projects that we're kind of in the home stretch with.
Yeah.
You know, we're a team, and without the team, it's hard to make this stuff work.
Yeah.
So I super appreciate you.
I so appreciate you saying that.
Awesome. And so with that,
you.
I say we jump into the show.
Episode number.
Okay. Now I'm all messed up. Ready? Episode number 113.
Yeah. All right.
My Dr. Evil's really shitty.
No, yours is great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think I did one the other day on Michelle, and there was like no tie-in. I was like, Michelle, and I was like, there's no Michelle, like, do you know what I mean? In the movie, it's like, if there was a name, I was anyway.
Question number 1 comes from Denise.
Yes.
Denise says, my purebred black and tan Coonhound is progressing with prong collar walking.
Excellent.
But when his nose picks up a scent, he forgets all training and heads off nose down. Is there any way to break him through his intense scent instinct and keep him on track with walking progress?
Don't swimmers have like things that they put on their nose that like plugs them up? I wonder if you could do something like that with the dog.
He's like walking around with a little clip on his
Yeah,
nose.
he's like, everything's great. I don't need to sniff anymore. I know, but we're always trying to offer like alternatives because everybody's like, well, do this training. And it's like, nobody thinks like outside the box.
It's like when you said just cover Hercules' eyes.
Yeah. I bet it works.
It works.
I bet it works.
I've done it with squirrels. I'm serious. I've gone like this, and he's like, and then they pass.
We'll cut that part out. That doesn't go in the Good Dog Training Manual. It's in the DVD.
We're not putting it in the book.
Anyways, okay guys, so Denise, it's challenging with any of these kind of like super nose-centric guys. So there's just no getting around it. We've had plenty of them come through, and like getting the nose off the ground can be really challenging. Who did we just have that was like so nose-centric?
Was there another hound? Was another?
God, it was such a battle to get the nose off the ground.
Once they got it, once they're on that.
Oh man, I wish I could remember the dog, but boy, like all of us, we were all working on it, and it was really a challenge. So here's the thing: we usually use e-collar stuff for any walk issues, any reactivity, any pulling, but also any like distraction and trying to sniff and get things off the ground. It's such an easier more effective way to be
Yeah.
able to communicate with the dog and say like that thing when you're doing that, like the timing's immediate, the dog gets the correction, oh, I'm not supposed to be doing that, and you can really start to inhibit that behavior, that constant habit of like I smell, and I get that it's genetic. I get that the dog like has this built-in thing, but like to tell you the truth, like he's not on the job at that point. He's walking, right? So he's Christopher walking with you. So when you guys are on the walk, I want you.
That's the part you're great at.
When you guys. When you guys, I cracked myself up.
It's really funny.
So
This is gonna be the worst episode ever. I just want
or the best. Okay, so sorry, Mike. Okay, so, and I don't mean like Mike who's watching. I mean this guy. So e-collars are super helpful for being able to cultivate, fine-tune, and help dogs with all of the walk issues. And if you're doing it with the prong, it's going to be more challenging, right? Because what's happening is you're trying to use the prong to compete with this incredibly like high drive genetic nose predisposition of like scent. And then you're saying with the prong collar, I need you to not do that, I need you to not do that. And the prong's great, but the prong can have some definite limitations with that. And then next thing you know, you're like cranking. And a lot of dogs, when their nose goes, like everything else in their body turns off.
Yeah.
And so then the prong collar like just doesn't work as well. But the e-collar tends to break through that in a way that a lot of times the prong collar can't. So I would definitely recommend, if you really want to nail it down and get it like super fabulous, I would go for e-collar heel, and then I would get like a really nice heel, and then I would also get a really nice don't put your nose on the ground by just saying no and tapping the button at a level that your dog cares about. That's a great way to go about it, right? Now, if you're doing the prong and e-collar is not an option, then here's what I would suggest with that. When you're out on your walk, hopefully you're getting a really nice heel, and then I don't know what your dog's name is, but Mr. Coonhound puts his nose on the ground. Here's what I'd do. I'd be waiting for it. Just be like super Johnny on the spot. You're walking your dog, you see like him starting to like boom, get ready to like make the move. 2 hands, plant, you know, if he's on your left hand side, you plant your left foot. And then 2 hand, I'm like, I know I bend down, you guys can't see me. Basically what I'm saying is do a 180, a 2-handed 180. The moment that his nose goes towards the ground, pop, and then head the other direction. I want that pop to be sharp, sudden, firm. I want to get his attention like nobody's business, and I want you gone the other direction, right? So we've got a couple videos you can see where that stuff.
Of Casey, and I know she's on e-collar, but it just shows like what 180s look like. It's on e-collar.
But there's also a really great video that says introducing a dog to prong collar and stopping massive pulling and like whatever.
Yeah, Charlie or whatever.
I can't remember the dog's name. It's not a little dog. It's a medium-sized pitty. But that shows the whole process through the prong, through the kind of prong introduction, but then it shows very clearly the 180s and what they look like and the mechanics. And typically if you try and do it with one hand, it's hard because, there we go, it's hard because there's going to be give if your dog is strong. There's going to be give in your limbs, and so the correction won't have the sharpness you need to get through to his brain for him to go, I don't want to do that. So let's make this really simple. If you're going to stay on prong, you're walking him in a nice heel, make sure that he really is respecting that in a great space. The moment you see him starting to move into that, and it's going to happen quick, to go down to sniff, you plant your foot, get your 2 hands ready, give him a little leash. Hopefully you guys can see it. Give him a little leash so he gets committed to it, and then pop. And then move back, just turn the opposite direction.
Surprised, I'm like, oh, like I gotta be on my P's, I gotta be on my toes.
P's and toes. And then he's gotta also see that, or he's going to see that you've gone the other way. So now it becomes a focus exercise as well. It becomes a don't sniff, pay attention, and walk with me, and don't be a knucklehead. So try and think about making that consequence for the sniffing more valuable for him, and he'll stop doing it most likely. I would be doing 2-handed 180s, and look up YouTube how to introduce a dog to a prong collar and stop pulling in like a few minutes or whatever it's called, and that'll help you see what those mechanics look like. Cool.
All right. Nice work.
Thanks, lady.
Question number 2
Yeah.
comes from Bethany. Bethany Wilson Davison. Our sweet Bethany. We love
Who
her.
is a trainer,
She's an awesome trainer.
just in case people didn't know.
Come to a seminar with us, but she's just like, she's a badass in her own right, and she's here in LA. Bethany says, hi guys, I love the ridiculously large Christmas tree, and I read The Coyote and the Pig twice over Thanksgiving break and absolutely loved it. Oh, that's so sweet, Bethany. I'm so excited.
Everybody knows Coyote and the Pig is out, so if you want to order that, have we put that on the store, a TGD store?
No.
That needs to be on the TGD store.
That's a good.
Because then we can recommend people go see it,
go.
because I guarantee a lot of these folks would love to read it.
Oh, okay.
So let's make a
do
little
that.
mental note.
She says, I'm so excited for the next one is start having some kids to read it to. My question is geared towards trainers, but should help everyone because they can ask themselves these questions.
Yeah.
When you talk on the phone with your potential clients that have filled out your contact form online, what are the questions you ask them typically? I know I'm asking you to divulge your secrets, so if you're comfortable, I would really appreciate your guys' perspective. Love you guys both. Have a wonderful Christmas. Oh, Bethany, you too.
Thanks, Bethany. Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, and we're going to do a little call with her, I think, this week too.
Okay.
So, Bethany, it's a great question, of course. Ask the secrets. That's the cool thing about secrets is that, like, it just helps everyone if you divulge these secrets. There are no secrets, really.
Well, but I mean, there's techniques and there's approaches
Yeah.
and there's insights and
course.
an emotional kind of like,
Yeah, of course.
motions and movements.
So Bethany, I would say this. We're happy to share. On the contact form, we ask them for as much information as possible. So when I get on the phone with a client, potential client, after they've sent in the contact form, what I'm really trying to do with the questions, I start with usually like 2 questions, and that's typically just 2 points from their contact form that kind of I need to get more clarification on. So, for instance, it says like the dog bit the Uncle George in the family, right?
Poor Uncle George.
Poor Uncle George.
Yeah.
I would ask specifically, like, can you briefly explain that? Can you briefly set up that situation, what happened with Uncle George? Because you as a trainer would know that there's a couple ways that could go. It could have gone like Uncle George was roughhousing with him and he
Uncle
bit him
George was drunk again and stumbled over him.
Yeah, and he bit him really like while he was playing. Or Uncle George got in his face and went like this, and the dog like backed away and Uncle George kept doing it, and then he bit Uncle George. That's another scenario, right?
Uncle George.
Or the dog was just laying there, Uncle George just walked by to go to the bathroom, and the dog went for him. Those are 3 very different dogs. Can you guys see what that mean? Like what I mean by that is just that you have 3 very different dogs, 3 very different, like you have a nervous dog, you have a more like aggressive, nervous, anxious dog, or just like a playful, bratty, there's so many. So I would illuminate like a situation like that. The other thing, and I'd probably ask like 2 points just to kind of see like what dog we're dealing with. The other questions that I would ask is, are they familiar, because we already asked this on the contact form, but are they familiar, do they have any questions about the e-collar training? Make sure that they've done their homework on that, because I'm not going to talk them through that on the phone. I'm going to make sure that they've done homework and watched videos. Some things I might get into, typically my phone calls are like 20 minutes long, so it's not like a ton, but things that I will ask, if we have like a more aggressive dog and they're going to be doing an extended board and train with us, I will ask like, just want to make sure like you guys are up for changes in the house, everyone's down for doing a little bit of different stuff, affection
Shifting
levels,
relationship dynamics,
relationship stuff, and kind of like just asking about that. And then the one thing that I definitely always say, whether it's a question or not, is just making sure that they have good expectations, that they know that this isn't a fix-it scenario. We don't know how far we'll get with the dog. We don't know what the dog's going to be like because we've never met the dog. And that's kind of it. Those are like my main points.
But boy, like, I think out of like, because we train so many trainers, we work with so many trainers, that last part about expectation setting, I think is maybe one of the biggest missed portions of that conversation.
You want to make the sale, man.
Yeah, and guess what happens when expectations are in different spaces, right? Then you run into a whole bunch of trouble where clients are like, but I thought, and you're like, yeah, but I wanted this to happen for you, and then this happens, and then you've got disappointment.
Like, you always feel like, oh, if the dog's not doing well, you're like, I don't know how to tell them, really. You're like, you're nervous about writing that email that the dog's like not progressing the way you want it to, or you need more time or whatever. But man, when I start out with pretty firm about that, because I don't want anyone coming to us that has like, okay, we'll just, I just want this fixed. I've talked to people that literally say that, like, I don't care what you guys cost, I don't care how long you keep him, I just want it fixed. And I'm like, oh, no. let's step back a few steps. And then you step back and you realize that, this isn't a client I'd want to work with, because...
But how many trainers would have said yes?
Oh my God, they'd be thrilled.
There'd be a line of trainers that would say yes, and what would happen is they would end up being like, cool, we got the sale, I've trained the dog to a certain point, but they forget that part where the owner said, I really want this fixed. And then when they get together and the owner's like, all this homework, this stuff is too much for me, or I don't really want to follow through, this is way too much structure, I'm not down with the accountability. And then what happens? Then the next part of this happens, which is they start blaming you because their expectations weren't met. So you got the sale, you're like, rah, 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 business is building, and then the client's pissed off at you
and you feel like
dissatisfied.
A shitty trainer because you feel like you didn't do the work right, and then you start losing confidence.
How many trainers I've talked to on the phone over consults that have been like, I feel like shit because I haven't been able to like get the clients to be successful. And I'm like, that's not all on you, except for the part of saying yes.
But gosh, it's such a, like, this is the best. This is why I love T3 so much, because it really sets people up to know, like, the sale or your training is not about you. Like, I will tell clients point blank, there's an inevitable question about 20% of my phone calls where they'll say, what's your success rate, right? It's just like, seems like a typical question. People, so what's the success rate, with all this stuff?
Yeah. Do you break out our chart?
Yeah, I forgot the chart. No, but really we say like, I have no numbers on that but it really always depends on the dog and you, not me. We're doing great.
Yeah.
Check out our videos.
Yeah, the dog's going to look good. Yeah.
But if the dog has some stuff going on up here, or there's like relationship stuff with you, man, it's going to be a long road. And I have no problem telling that to clients and just making sure that they're aware of that stuff. And, by asking questions, Bethany, just to wrap up your question, by asking those specific questions, find out what you're dealing with. By asking if they're cool with the tools, if they've done their homework on the tools, that's like a nice little, show that like, hey, if they're not willing to even watch a video on an e-collar, good luck getting them to do the work down the road with their dog.
So true.
So it shows you like, okay, you ask like, so you have any questions on that stuff? If they're like, nope, I've seen all your stuff, I've read everything on your website, I'm all good. You already know you're kind of dealing with a team player, so.
Yeah, and those are some of the reasons, or some of the big reasons, why we put those things in place, because they're both to educate, but they're also to kind of like suss out where's the person 100%. At as far as commitment and investment level.
That question is not just an innocuous one. That one's always setting me up for how the rest of the call is going to go.
Yeah. We're strategic.
You gotta be,
so,
protect.
But the only way, I'll finish it out, because apparently we've got like 1,000 minutes with this one. I think you said.
I put it up. I put it under so that we could have a minute.
Okay. What was I going to say? I had something profound to say, and then I got like all caught up in like being a jackass and saying something about
adding those little things in there about like, those questions and stuff are all strategic, and kind of just talking about that.
Yeah, I think that the trainers are just getting caught up in sales, and they're not seeing the big picture.
Yeah,
I think it just comes down to that, and I know we all want to do well, and we all want to build business, but you have to see the big picture, because otherwise it's going to come back to bite you.
Another big client will come along.
Yeah.
At the same price.
Yeah. So be willing, like, I guess this is what I was going to say, is that you have to be in a position where you're okay to say no. If you're not okay to say no, you are over a barrel, and you're going to take people that you shouldn't take, and then you're going to have disappointment for you and disappointment with the client, and that's going to be problematic, and it's going to like affect your reputation, how you feel about everything. You got to be ready to say no. That's like such an important way to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So
cool. Thanks, Bethany.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah. See you, lady.
Question number 3 comes from Natasha Radovsky.
Natasha Radovsky. It's been a long time since we've rock and rolled Natasha Radovsky. Is this jacket in the way of the mic?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
I've been listening. She says, hi, Sean and Laura. It's been a while since I asked for your help. Things have been pretty good and calm until yesterday. Just a quick reminder, Bruno is my 3.5-year-old lab who had some major dominance and bratty behavior and leash reactivity issues in the past. He's almost a perfect dog now. He's prong and e-collar trained, walks off leash daily, plays with other dogs, no resource guarding, waits for food, no furniture privileges. Yesterday, while on a structured walk, he wanted to sniff and eat a bone he saw at the side of the street. Sniffing is not allowed when we're having a structured walk, so I gave him a prong pop.
Nor are bone eatings.
Yes. I gave him a prong pop. He gave me a sharp, angry look, like turned his head in my direction really quickly. Nothing more, no growling, snapping, but I really didn't like the look. Should I be concerned, or am I worried about nothing? Good question.
What do you think about that?
Well, I was walking with Hercules last night.
Did Hercules give you an angry look?
No. I'll start the timer at once. I was walking with him in the park. We were doing our late night, like, run around the park. Not run, me hobbling. The dog running. And Herc comes running up to me and he starts walking next to me. And this isn't dark and they can run it wherever. And I'm like, why is he like healing with me? This is weird. I'm like, hey, buddy. And he just keeps healing with me. And I'm like, all right, what's going on? I'm like, Herc. So I like put on the flashlight on him just to make sure everything's okay, because he never does that. I look down, he has a giant raw chicken breast in his mouth, carrying it. I don't know where he got it.
Like a retriever? He's like...
I guess, people barbecue out there all the time, and like someone dropped a raw chicken breast. He's got this giant thing in his mouth. I know he's super conflicted because he's like, I want this,
but I should.
I'm
gonna come heal and see how this works out.
And hopefully, maybe. And I was like,
what a funny thing. It
was so weird. It was so weird. Like, Cujo would have eaten it right away.
Yeah.
But and then I was like, out, and he's like, and dropped it. And I was like, good boy. I've never done out commands with you, but you did it.
You never done out with her?
No. Why would I need out with her?
I don't know.
I don't need out with her. No, I said out, and he was like, and it dropped.
He's just learned by osmosis. He's seen all the other dogs.
All right, starting it.
Okay, so... little Herc story for you guys.
Well, like when you pick up, the bones and stuff. Like,
didn't you guys have like a submarine, like a po' boy in New Orleans?
Po' boy,
like
a half-eaten po' boy.
Like a foot-long po' boy that he had. Like,
it up and it was like
and he's like, please God, don't let her see me. Don't let her see me.
He was trying to eat it while he was walking.
I'm healing. Anyways, okay, let me jump in here real quick, and then you can jump in with me. Yes. So first of all, has anything changed? Has anything changed in your reputation? Has anything changed in your relationship?
Yeah.
Anything changed in your lifestyle? Anything changed with Bruno? I still feel like Bruno's like a name asking for trouble.
Bruno.
Yeah. I feel like Bruno's like, they call me Bruno. Hey. I'm like, maybe you should call him like Pee-wee or something like that, like take a little edge off. But I'd be curious if there's anything that's changed in your routine, your structure, your relationship, anything like that. I know you're super smart, super savvy and tuned in, so you probably would have shared that, but I just have to ask and see if anything's changed. So it's kind of hard to say, but my suspicion is because you're a super savvy dog owner, you probably have a suspicion or intuition about where that really came from. And I don't think you would have written us a question about this if you didn't feel like it was coming from a pretty untoward, uncool space. So most likely you saw something that you probably haven't seen a ton of, or you haven't seen it in a while and that you don't like. So I would trust your intuition on that. I'd keep my eyes out for any other objections, any other moments where you start to see that. Could be at a point where is he 3.5 years old? Could be at a point where he's starting to like, he's well trained now and he's got all this great stuff. But you could still start to see a little of like, he's not that old yet. could start, you know, like moving, not
what starts
start,
to
that's not the right
change.
thing, yeah, but continue to move in a little bit more of an assertive fashion, a little more of a mature fashion, a little bit more of like, I'm going to challenge things and see what I feel. And I might even disagree with you as a more mature adult dog. I might disagree with this correction or whatever you're sharing. So I would really like for you, I would like you to be a sleuth about this and see if you're getting, excuse me, any kind of objections in any other context. And if you are, I would go after him like pretty darn firmly, as long as you feel safe, as long as you don't feel like Bruno is going to come back and like try and, you know, hard time you.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like if it was my dog and I corrected my dog and my dog was like,
Give me a look.
we'd have words.
Yeah, that would be something, Natasha, that I would set up again. Because if you're not seeing it in any other context, it may just be something like I'm out on a walk and something's there.
The bone thing
Resource.
might have really like,
It might have started a little something. So,
Yeah.
so that'd be something you could set up. I know he's e-collar trained, so I would have the e-collar. You don't want to do like a big prong. I think a big prong pop might be harder than just like a
Oh,
higher
yeah.
level like e-collar correction for any sort of
way more
weird-
confrontational.
Yeah, and you can
Yeah.
also set it up at home, like check out some bones and stuff like that at home, like
For Bruno.
Yeah, be careful taking it away from him. You don't want to get in, grab stuff from him.
No, but she could train him out and work with him
That's the
and
thing.
see where he's at. And like, I think that's what you're kind of getting at is
Yeah.
that like, if he's got bone stuff, let's set it up and find out. Or if he's got high resource stuff, like
Yeah.
something special.
We did have resource guarding before, I think. I think she said that there's no more resource guarding. Let me see.
I'm not so sure
It's
about
almost a
that.
perfect no resource guard. She said no resource guarding, meaning that maybe it was there before. We can't remember, Natasha, but if it's there before, that's the one thing for me. Like, I used to see it because Polar Bear's big thing was resource guarding, and even when I was totally out of him, I could do anything around. I'd occasionally, if things were just loose, get a little like just a little stuff.
Just a little like flashback to
Just
the good old
flashbacks,
days. Yeah.
And there's something, I don't know, I just feel like if there was resource guarding before and you might see it again,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
knock it out.
So check it out. Like it's always better to set it up where
Yeah.
you're ready and you're prepared. Don't be out on a walk and like have them grab a bone or a po' boy sandwich or something like that. Set it up inside your house. Pig's ear, something like high
Yeah.
value. See what you get from that. If you get like
yeah.
any of that, okay, we got stuff to go
Right.
through, and then start working through the out command. You can go to our videos and search out command with, I think, Caspar or something like that,
Caspar's with the out, yeah.
and start working through that and get rid of that, because if he is giving you like nasty looks, I'm super not down with that,
No.
and that doesn't bode well for just relationship in general moving forward, because if he feels like he gets away with that, he's probably going to feel like he can get away with other stuff.
Yeah, you just want to be careful.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
Good to hear
Well,
from you again, lady.
Yeah, Natasha, we miss you.
We do.
Happy holidays if we don't talk to you before then.
Yes.
All right. Question number 4.
From
This comes from
Inga.
Inga. And it's a video.
You ready to play it?
Hit it, Inga.
Hey Sean, hey Laura. I have another question for you. This is where my dog and me, we love to walk. It's nice and quiet, no cars, few bikes, few people. And then unfortunately sometimes we have to pass a dog. And you know my dog is reactive, leash reactive to other dogs. And so when we have to pass a dog here, we're in trouble. He can see the dog coming from far away. And so by the time we have to cross the dog, he's really overexcited, over nervous. And there's no way I can pass this dog in a reasonably polite manner. So what should I do? Just drag him along and get it all over as soon as possible. Try to force him to sit down. Put him in a place. I'm not sure what to do, but it's difficult. Max is e-collar trained, but this one is too difficult to control with e-collar for me. I hope you can give me some advice how to pass other dogs more easily. Thank you.
It's always so silly because we don't actually see the video right now. We've seen it, but we don't see it here. It doesn't drop down on the screen. We're like, oh yeah, look at that.
We've gotten pretty good at the whole like stop.
Have we?
Give us a little minute. Yeah.
I think I looked pretty dumb. I was like, anyways, okay. So Inga, this question is for both of us.
Yes.
So you want to jump in, or do you want me to jump in?
Jump in. Start it out.
You just love to like throw me to the wolves, don't you? Okay. So I saw the video. It's an awesome place to walk your dog, for one. Like,
Gorgeous.
you're super lucky. So she's walking, you guys have seen the video, she's walking on this nice like path by the river, and it's pretty quiet and all that, except when dogs come and then there's not a lot of room to be able to create space and try and negotiate any kind of like, you know, how do we get by a dog and prevent reactivity and things like that. And I think that's like Inga's one last kind of final frontier that she's struggling with her dog, is some pretty serious reactivity stuff. And he's prong and e-collar trained, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, yep.
Yeah, and still struggling with the reactivity. So the question comes down to like, what are we missing that we could be doing? And it doesn't mean you're missing anything, but usually there's something going on that we're missing. So I'd be very curious, like, how are you addressing that situation? Because your question was like, do I just try and like boogie by him really quick and like get it over with? That's not going to get you anywhere. That's just going to perpetuate it.
Right.
So how have you been addressing it? And I'd love to hear back from you. You can email us. You can, you can hit us up on this Facebook. In the comments. But I'd be really curious what you're doing, how you're trying to manage him. Are you pulling him back on leash because he's obviously off leash in the video? I'm assuming you're putting him back on leash and then having him heel. But then what are you doing the moment that you start to see the very beginning of loading towards the other dog? Are you correcting at a low level and like hoping that's going to work? Are you trying to keep him in a heel and he's already starting to amp up? Like, I don't know how intense he is because we didn't get to see any of the behavior in the video of like the intensity stuff. But if he's my guy and I'm out there and I know that he's like prone to like boom go through the roof, I'm gonna nail him the first second he looks at that dog. I'm gonna be up high on the collar, like early in the, when Laura says early, she means early in the sequence, in the sequence of like walking, ears up dog, and like right. So what you want is
bang.
Boom, you go right there. And you do it firm enough that he goes, whoa, he hasn't escalated enough to where all the adrenaline and everything coursing through his body like blocks it out. And instead he's like, whoa, geez, Louise.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't try, and I'll let you totally like do your second part of it, but just what I would suggest and what I typically do in this situation might be different than what like I know people have seen like Caesar do and things like that, where he like just keeps moving and likes motion. Personally, I don't like that as much. What I'll do is I'll create space, I'll move the dog, make sure the dog's in a heel, create space, move the dog away from the other dog as much as possible, not in a panic sense or not in a panicky way, nice and calm. I'll turn the dog away so the rear of my dog faces the other dog. And then what I will do is I'll hold the leash and the e-collar, and I'm not going to hold it tight. I'm just going to hold the leash. And the second, go Joe. And the second that he's like, hey, don't leave me out of the filming. And the second that your dog goes like this to look at the other dog, you're already at a nice firm level. No. And then when he tries this, no. And you can use the prong or whatever you're using. I think you're using a prong, but you can use the prong to maintain body position of your dog, right? So if you've got like this kind of stuff going on, you can use the prong, but I don't want you to like overuse that. I don't want you to over lean on it. I want you to just use it to manage motion and keep the dog kind of in a nice stable position. But what I want you to really correct is the head motion, because they can only load through eye contact. If he's not looking at the dog, he's not going to load. So this is your enemy. This is your enemy. So you need to correct. And what we're trying to do is create this situation where your dog goes like, doing this sucks. Doing this is bad news bears. It gets corrected, and then he starts to just like, okay, avoidance. Like right now, and a lot of people are like, avoidance, that sounds terrible. Like what you want with your dog right now, before you can get to acceptance and moving forward, is you want your dog in avoidance. And avoidance means do not look at other dogs until you learn how to look at them in an appropriate fashion. Your dog does not know how to do that. Does that mean you're going to have to use levels you might be uncomfortable with? Possibly. Does that mean that this is something that's going to be hard for you because your dog like might be one of those 1%ers and you correct him and he like goes through the roof? Could be. So if that's the case and you've already been using high levels and not being like soft and easy about it, then a dominant dog collar could be a really good addition to this, which means that like you've done your correcting, you've got him positioned, everything else I just shared, but he starts to amp up, and then you take the dominant dog collar instead of the prong and you just apply pressure up, nice and calm, 2 hands, just until the dog relaxes. And then you answer it and relax the leash and let the dog down. Dog amps up, lift up. And we're not talking about like dogs swinging in the air. We're talking about like just enough pressure to where the dog's like, uh-oh.
It just de-escalates the pressure. It just de-escalates the situation.
Yep. Those are really my best choices, except unless she's like able to like get a helicopter to fly in and like transport them out of there and like off, and that's probably not super practical.
It's just so hard when you can't use space when you're at the beginning of things. And
Yeah,
you're trying to like
yeah.
move through stuff. So yeah, I think that early in the sequence, making sure that the heel is like really rock solid before you even get to the point where you're walking along that that tight path and kind of tightrope thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, all that.
Because there is space.
Yeah.
It's not like you guys have got like walls right
like
there.
tight to tight.
No, you guys do have some space to move. What do you think about like higher level corrections and turning around?
Yeah, I mean earlier, I just feel like it's timing thing. And I feel like it's going to be like as early as you can in terms of early, like as soon as you see the little stuff, make sure it's a little bit of a higher level than you would just do if the dog was just like pulling ahead and everything was cool and kosher. And then make sure that that's setting the tone and that you're staying on him through each thing, not like correct then and then he starts to amp up again and missing that moment. Just make sure it's consistent throughout.
Yeah.
So,
it's a challenging one, and it's one of those things that like I hate to see you struggle out there. I wish we could transport ourselves and come to your aid.
I know.
But
you just want to go there.
well, I love it out there. She's in Belgium or Netherlands?
I think so.
Yeah,
Netherlands?
yeah. It's just the best. Anyways, those are our best suggestions. And to be honest, like it's hard when you've got like not a lot of space, like Laura said. But what I would say is I would try and get the jump with a high level correction and make sure that he's thinking a lot about you and not so much about that dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Let us know
you.
and send us more pictures of your lovely
Gorgeous
home.
walk. Yeah. Thanks, Inga. Question number 5. Can you believe we're at the end?
Yeah.
This comes from Lisa. Remember we used to do 10 questions with no timer? You'd be like, blah, 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 for like 2 hours.
Really? Just like that? Blah, 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 blah. For 2 hours. Wow. You see why we have issues, right? All right, let's move on.
Okay. I mean,
this is an IG.
Yeah. All right. Oh, this is cool. On IG, you can like the comment now.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
They're coming along.
Lisa Lodato, 99, on IG says, "Hi, can you please give me some advice on how to help my 1.5-year-old rescued Jack Russell male who's absolutely terrified of being in a crate? I've watched your crate video multiple times." Mac is going to be a lot different than a Jack Russell. I'm sorry about that. We should do one with like a crazy Jack Russell.
I miss Mac.
I know. I have tried to implement these strategies, but he's just terrified. He eats fine in his crate with the door opened or closed, but once he realizes that the door is closed, he panics. Really common stuff.
Yeah. And with Jack Russells, you always get like extra rocket fuel and intensity.
Really
like
fun. Yeah.
We've had more than our fair share. And and we have a pretty mild Jack Russell not that long ago that was like we're like, ooh, look at that. It's a genetic possibility.
Yeah, it's unique.
Yeah. So anyways, okay, so a couple notes for you. So for one, it's hard to say whether it's whether it's panic or objection,
Right.
right? You might be seeing him be like, get me the hell out of here. And it may look like panic, but he might just be objecting to being in there. Or it might be a combination of the two things,
Yeah.
right? Like, I don't like being in here. I'm kind of freaking out. So one of the approaches is just to let him process and go through it, and just let him be in the crate, and just let him go through it, and make sure, like, obviously he's not hurting himself or anything like that. If he's like biting the crate and trying to break teeth or doing anything like that, that's problematic. We don't allow that stuff. So we get, I mean, God, guys, we get dog after dog after dog after dog after dog that's either never been in a crate or has huge, amazingly, gigantically large crate issues. It was a good setup, right? Good, good dramatic pause.
I was like, what are we
Where's it going? Major crate issues.
Yeah.
And so we always manage to get through it. And the thing is, we're really non-negotiable about it. We're, you know, I peeped out your Instagram a little bit. I saw lots of like cute pictures of your Jack Russell, and like some shots of like him being on your bed and things like that.
Cozies.
Yeah, little cozies. So, hey, nothing wrong with it as long as you're not having problems. But if you are having problems, and then you're trying to tell your dog that like doesn't like something, or is worried about something, or nervous about something,
Yeah.
and you're a soft energy, soft presence, and you guys are like kind of like in the same place, you're gonna have a really hard time, especially initially, getting him to feel comfortable with accepting something he's not comfortable with.
Right.
So we come out of the gate. If your dog came in here, we would check him. There's a bunch of different things we would check, like thresholds and the walk and the crate and all this stuff, and we would make sure that, like, hey, you're listening to us. We wouldn't be giving any soft stuff, any touch, any affection, any sweet, you know, like any of the sweet, nice stuff. None of that, because it's not helpful for him. Not because we don't love dogs, but because it's not helpful for him. For him to get over the hump in the crate, he needs to realize that the people in charge of him have got kind of this non-negotiable, firm presence. This is what I need you to do. It's non-negotiable. Hang out in there, deal with it. And if we're going to have problems, then we're going to start to deal with the problems, right? So we might use e-collar, which you didn't mention anything about tools or anything like that. So my guess is that you're probably, I don't think she says,
I don't think she's doing anything. She's tried the crate exercise.
yeah, but I just know there's a question. Okay, so that's not the question. Okay, so my guess is like e-collar's probably something you're not thrilled about, but that's what we do for dogs that have crate issues, because then we can like, boom, instantly like block, inhibit that like escalation of anxiety, stress, panic, or objection, whatever it might be. It doesn't really matter. It just what we're saying is like, just don't do that anymore.
Yep.
And the dog goes like, "Rah, rah, rah." Oh, I can't do that. And then they hang out. Nice jinx. And so anyways, that's what we would suggest. Now, if you're not going to do that, then you have to either let him ride it out, which can be like way harder on the dog than correcting the dog. You could look up Gary Wilkes and look up bonking, which is a rolled up towel. Once again, we're talking about correction and punishment. You may not be down with that, but like, you don't get over having a dog in an like escalated space without telling him, no, you can't do that. Now, the extra little like secret sauce in this is that it's a Jack Russell, and that some of these guys can be really firm.
Tenacious and firm and rough and stubborn.
Yeah, and I saw you had another one prior to this, so you know what goes with the territory with Jack Russell. So
Which makes them fun. It's not that makes them bad, but it can be a lot of.
they're cool dogs,
Yeah.
but they've got like,
Yeah.
they're like the Rocky Balboa of dogs, you know. So, anyways, those would be kind of the things that we would be looking at tool-wise, but in a kind of broader sense. What I think both of us would agree on, and let me know if you think differently, is that like, I would be looking to like really overhaul like structure, rules, relationship, all that stuff beyond the crate. Everybody gets caught up in like the one, you know what I mean? Like, he's got a crate issue.
That's the thing, like, you watch that video and I kind of made the joke about Mac, but like, that video is not going to be your best stuff. I would say the videos, all the other videos where you're doing like place command, how the walk is, maybe if you're even just using a prong collar and you don't even get to the e-collar, just a lot of conversations that by the time you're in the crate, all those conversations are going to add to that crate. But by just doing the crate exercise, like closing the crate, if your dog's like, I don't listen to you, ever listen to you? Why would I listen to you now? It's not going to help. It's not going to help you so much. So going to these videos, ding, 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 ding,
And real
here.
quick, he may listen to you in other contexts where he
Yeah.
wants to.
Right, where it works.
Where it
for him.
works, yeah, yeah.
And he could be totally obedient and awesome with everything. We're just kind of making assumptions off what we
Yeah, we're
see.
just going with the best information that we have.
But I would go, like I said, those videos that I just linked up with, like, if you just want to do prong collar walk, prong collar place, sit down, all those things feed into a little bit of a better state of mind, so that by the time you get to the crate exercise, all that stuff has like been kind of more.
I hope that makes sense, because our whole concept of training is built on foundational leveraging all these different things, and everybody else is just like, here's my problem. We're like, no, your problem is way bigger than that, but way easier than that in a lot of ways. And like Laura's saying really, really well, really astutely, is that if you'll go after all the other stuff and get him out of your bed and start to really lead and guide and create structure, you'll probably get a dog who's emotionally, it makes more sense for him to say, like, I'll go do this thing that I'm not so sure about, because that's our relationship dynamic and it makes sense to me. So hopefully that helps.
Hopefully that helps. Let us know how it goes. And have fun with that Jack Russell. Okay, so we're at the end of this episode.
We are, indeed.
Which means that right now I'm just about to go home and cut.
What are we gonna do if like baby comes like tomorrow and like no more Q&A?
No, guys, what are we gonna do? That doesn't mean no more Q&A.
No, but I mean, like, it could be a lapse.
Are you gonna come to the hospital? You could do video. You
know how squeamish I am.
You're 48.
My age has nothing to do with it. They chased me around, like, I have vivid memories, and no one's gonna believe me, but in my doctor's office when I was like a tyke,
no one's gonna believe you.
They chased me around and needed extra nurses to grab me, to hold me down so they could give me my shots, because I was like almost like an asylum, like what do they call it?
Pin him down.
Yeah, I was like, you'll never take me. I was like 4 years old, so like that might be hard.
The maternity ward is so different.
Will you answer questions?
No.
In labor?
No. I wouldn't have you come in labor. You come later.
Oh, okay.
Because I'll stay there for a couple days.
Okay.
So you come, like,
I'll bring
video for Q&A.
Bring you bonbons.
All right. So guys,
maybe I'll come see you.
Maybe.
So
we just wanted to. We've gotten a bunch of entries for TGD Santa.
Yeah.
TGD Santa is basically if there's something that's on your wish list that we could help provide, send us an email to this email right up here. This is the only one that we're taking submissions from, and tell us a little story and what might be on your TGD Santa wish list. And we've gotten, oh my gosh, the best submissions. I don't know how
we're gonna decide.
Yeah, this is crazy, but we so appreciate it. I just wanted to read and show a couple of them. So just if you guys, like I said, we give preference to video because it's fun for us to link up here. It's fun for you guys to see. So if you want to put your hat in the ring for TGD Santa, you can email that email. You can also ask me about how to do Dropbox. I can walk you through that if your video is too long to email. So first one I'm going to read, just fun, kind of fun, is from Sonia. Sonia says, "Hi, Sean and Laura. I just listened to 6 hours of your Q&A Saturdays in podcast form. And since I'm a little behind, I'm not sure if you're still giving away prong collar DVDs to rescues, but I thought I'd try anyway. I work with a German Shepherd rescue. I'm not sure I should say it. On a regular basis, I have 2 to 4 foster dogs at any one time in my home. I've been following you guys all for about a year, and I've loved learning your techniques for training. I bought the e-collar DVD, which took my training to the next level. I've now become famous in my city for being that girl who rocks a lot of German Shepherds at one time.
Nice.
It amazes people how calm and well-behaved my foster dogs are after only 1 week out of the shelter. I do feel like I'm missing some steps with the prong collar, and even though I've watched your free videos, I'd love the prong video. Thank you so much for all you do. You can really tell you both put your hearts into your work." So check out the video.
Hey, Sean and Laura. We're out on our morning structured walk. Just wanted to say thank you. Your e-collar DVD has really helped in helping me control all these German Shepherds. Got 3 there, 3 there. All the e-collars, they've really helped. And I would love the DVD for the prong collar as well. Really kind of complete the training process and kind of get all the kinks out. So, and I'll be sure, Laura, to get before and after footage. I take about a foster dog a week, so I can get you some really good stuff. So just want to say thank you. You guys put out great content. It's really helped me over the past year. And so love you guys. Talk to you later.
That's just so cool. I just
Yeah.
love that so much. So I hope you guys all see that. Like, if you can send in a video like that, that's so fun for us to see, to be able
Yeah.
to put faces to your guys' names.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Sonia, thank you so much for taking the time. You're such a badass with all those German Shepherds.
Yeah, it's an awesome video.
And I had little stars or little hearts in my eyes for all
She have
those
6
GSDs.
shepherds?
I think it was like 5 or 6.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's got
E-collars, like,
all over her. Yeah.
looks like gold medallions from like, looks like she's an Olympic, like,
She's like
you know.
too short.
Yeah.
The second email I wanted to share with you guys
Yes.
is from Deborah. Deborah says, "Hi, Sean and Laura. You guys are the best. I can't thank you enough for being advocates for dogs and their people. You're life changers. We have 2 rescues that came into us very unstable conditions. Before finding you, we tried so many positive methods, but could never match their crazy state of mind and get lasting change, no matter how hard and long we worked. We could never have guests at our home due to our reactive dogs. After finding TJD, we worked just as hard using the tools and methods that you so freely share. We now have 2 stable model dogs. We can take them in public without fear of them getting out of control. We were just talking yesterday how incredibly stressful it used to be to have company. We were so focused on trying to control our dogs that we never
Right.
enjoyed our guests. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. We're still growing, but we're in an amazing place, loving life with our dogs, thanks to both of you. For the giveaway, I'd love your new book or anything that might help me fulfill my dream of starting a dog training business."
Oh, wow.
So awesome. Deborah, Deb Clark, we can't thank you enough for those. That email was just so nice. Like,
Yeah.
Deborah, that was just so cool.
Yeah.
So any of you guys want to write into TGD Santa, again, here's the email up here. Sending videos, those get preferential treatment. But just anything your heart desires, put it out there, and we're gonna see how we're gonna pick these people. And don't be in that place of like, oh, I never win anything. Just put out and tell us a little story
It's not
about
the
what
hardest
it is.
thing to win. It's
No.
not like you've got a crew of like 1,000,000 people
No.
that you're fighting through.
No.
Like,
I
this is
think I
a-
have like 20 emails.
yeah,
so don't worry.
you got a good shot. You got a good shot at this one.
And tell us a little story. Like, those stories are just
Stories
so fun
win.
for us to read.
Stories
Yeah,
win.
always.
Stories win. So, guys, I'm hoping this isn't going to be the last one before you
hope not.
and Forrest like get busy. But we'll do our very best to
Figure it
try and get back, as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And it's a scary one, thinking like that might be it, and at least for a while, So
You're doing a very nice setup.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go home right now.
Go home and start editing.
Start editing.
Okay, because it's late and you got
late.
stuff to do.
Yeah, we
and-
gotta go.
Okay, so start.
Maybe this will be the last episode.
You went to acting school. Give me some good stuff. Like, I'm supposed to suck.
I'm trying. No, you're doing great.
So,
All right.
we're gonna wrap the
Episode
show.
113 in the bag. We'll see if we make 114. See if the little boy wants to wait.
Yeah, otherwise we'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
Yeah, we love you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Toodles.
Mm.